The Principal Book of Won Buddhism. Doctrine. Chapter 6, The Essential Ways of Human Life and of Practice. The Fourfold Grace and the Four Essentials are the essential way of human life, the Threefold Study and the 8 Articles are the essential way of practice. As for the essential way of human life, people would not be able to follow it without the essential way of practice. As for the essential way of practice, people would not be able to manifest fully the efficacious power of that practice without the essential way of human life. To explain their connection through an analogy, the essential way of practice is like the medical arts by which a physician cures a patient, while the essential way of human life is like the medicine that cures the patient. Chapter 7, The Four Great Principles. The four great principles are right enlightenment and right practice, awareness of grace and requital of grace, practical application of the Buddha-dharma, and selfless service to the public. As for right enlightenment and right practice, it is to engage in that consummate practice which is free from bias or reliance, excessiveness, or deficiency, whenever we make use of our 6 sense organs of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, by gaining awakening to the truth of Il1, which is the mind seal rightly transmitted by the Buddhas and enlightened masters, and modeling ourselves wholeheartedly on that truth. As for awareness of grace and requital of grace, it is to put gratitude into practice by deeply feeling and knowing the content of the grace we have received from heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, and modeling ourselves wholeheartedly on that way of indebtedness. At the same time, even if there is a situation in which we might become resentful, it is to respond gratefully by discovering first and foremost that from which all grace derives and giving thanks for that situation. As for practical application of the Buddha-dharma, it means we should not as in the past be incapable of handling worldly affairs because of being attached to the Buddha-dharma, but instead be able to handle worldly affairs even better because of being disciples of the Buddha. In other words, our aim is that we should not be useless in the world by being Buddhist disciples, but, through our practical application of the Buddha-dharma, we become useful people who can help individuals, families, societies, and nations. As for selfless service to the public, it is to devote ourselves with sincerity and dedication to delivering all sentient beings through an altruistic Mahayana practice that forsakes thoughts only of ourselves or our own families and self-indulgent or capricious conduct.